Boy, she fought and fought and fought to be on this court.
And you kind of forget about what she had to go through because of the way she handled it, the way she is today.
We really have had the opportunity to say, hey, she had a second chance.
Yeah, it was a miracle, everything that happened. I came to school not feeling well, it was fine, and I was sitting in study hall and my arms start like shaking, and then I start getting really clammy and cold, and I was freaking out because I was like, what's going on with my body? Like, I don't know. So I had 7th period study hall and I ran to the trainer right after.
Jordan Redding here, OPS, she works here at Carroll. She gave me a phone call and explained to me that Victoria was shaking violently. She has some pain in her right side and all the way in her back, and she needs to be seen immediately.
I just remember I was on the bus riding home, and I just get the text that she's gonna be, like, that she was in the emergency room. She was my best friend, so I just got super scared and didn't know, like, what was happening.
We took lots of tests, blood work, a lot of samples, and they didn't know what was going on. So I actually had to spend the night in the ER. So I'm just laying in the bed, and all night, it was probably the worst pain in my whole entire life. My stomach was aching and it started to get bloated, and it was coming out further and further, and it looked terrible.
We weren't sure what was going on, to be honest with you. I mean, it was a very scary time at that moment because we didn't know what it was, and nor did they.
So they ended up doing a exploratory surgery, and usually when they do that, they just want to look around, see if everything's okay.
And the x-rays showed that the appendix was really angry. I mean, there were red veins, and you could tell something was going on.
I mean, it was like 3 or 4 days where they just couldn't figure out what it was and how, why it was so infected or where it came from.
So in that surgery, they ended up removing my appendix and saying that they found 2 tumors, and they're both cancerous. And basically, they saved my life. So that appendicitis that I had, if it would have exploded a day later, which it could have because it was really bad, I would have had cancer all over my body.
Because of the incision and where it was on the appendix, everything was contained within the appendix. So
perfectly
he said
placed
it was
right in the middle of
perfectly
that.
placed. Obviously, God had a plan to make sure that she was okay.
It's a miracle that the cancer didn't spread.
When you get a second chance like that or something happens like that, it kind of shakes up your world a little bit. But, as an athlete, her focus was working out, practicing, getting stronger, doing what she loves to do. And then it became, okay, well, this was a little bit more serious than we thought.
I missed a month and a half of school on and off. So I was like there one day I wasn't, and it's just because I was getting sick all the time. And I mean, even though I felt awful, I continued to practice and I continued to play games. It didn't stop me, and I honestly pushed myself harder because I knew how lucky I was to be able to be there playing that sport at that time.
She probably played 2 or 3 weeks after her surgery. She wasn't
supposed to.
I think she bled a little bit. She wasn't really supposed to, but she pushed herself. She really wanted to do it. She fought and played well and had a great end to her season and got in a few varsity games towards the end of the year. Then she just went to track and just excelled at that, and that's what got her the scholarship, and I'm just so proud of her.
1, 2, 3, Chargers!
The world today is full of negativity, and she certainly has not had any ounce of that. I always would think back to her and the challenges and struggles that she had at that time. She did it with quite ease, honestly. I know that it wasn't, but she certainly made it look and appear that way.
So when you have players who think, wow, this is tough, Tori can always say, hey, I went through this and I did this and look what's happening with me. And she can give them a different perspective of what life was all about.
Like, practice is hard, right? But I just think about like how appreciative I am to actually be here and to actually play. And like golf season, I was actually able to swing a club, and I didn't have to give up the things I love because of this.
It's not about athletics, but it's about what life has given you and taking that opportunity to make the best of it. And that's a life lesson that she can teach so many people.
She makes you a better person just being with her.
Yeah.
You know, she's ever since all of this, she just thrives on being better and encouraging people to look
Do
at,
their best.
yeah, just look at yourself and look what we have. And she always says that. She's
Yes,
like, look
take
how
advantage.
blessed we are.
She has a love for life because of what she went through, and you look at her today, you would never know that happened.
And to see her with that strength certainly can be a motivator for anybody.
Life could be so much harder, and it could have been so much different. And living in this moment now and knowing that nothing's stopping me, I think is the most amazing gift that God's ever given me, because I know that I have this amazing future ahead of me. And honestly, I'm really just thankful for everything that I have now, and being able to throw at St. Francis and having all these opportunities and getting scholarships. And I think down the line, I mean, like I keep on saying, it's gonna make me a stronger person. I already am because of it.
Don't cry.
Oh, don't cry.
I'm very, very lucky.
I love you, baby. I love you.